those beautiful words. And now we'll have a chance to invite others who would like to come up and share. And I'm glad to see some kids raising their hand because I'd like you to start first. Why don't you come up? I know. And remember to talk right to the microphone, okay?
Okay, I came to Summit when I was 4 years old, and Shadow was the first person I saw, and I loved him immediately. Mom, please don't be mad, but I used to sneak food from the house, like little crunchy food, and give it to him. And soon he took it upon himself to jump in my lap every time I sat down, put his hand in my lap, or paw, sorry, I keep forgetting, and just sit there and purr and not let me get up. One time my mom said it was time to go. I had to literally pick him up and put him on the ground. It was really painful.
Thank you.
Every day after I went to Summit, I would stay after school and play with Shadow with my friend Hafiz, and then when it was time to go, I would pet him and say goodbye. But he always knew that I would come back.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Thank you.
Shadow was special to me. Well, let me start with Summit is special to me because I was a Girl Scout here many moons ago. And I moved to Green and Johnson a few months ago. And so I walked to the co-op pretty often. And one day, midsummer, walking to the co-op and I just see this cat in the distance over by the door. And I don't know, something just told me, call him over, just see if he'll come over. So I just been down by the gate and I just, and at first he wasn't coming. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna leave this guy alone. So then he got up and he was just prowling over to me and he finally came over to me and I was like, I don't know, he was just a special creature. He touched my heart. So every time I walked to the co-op, I always called out for Shadow. He always came and spoke. I shared him on my Instagram all the time. So literally all my friends know who Shadow is. So I saw his service happening yesterday in the co-op. I saw a sign, so I had to come and pay my respects because he touched me in a special way, and I see how special he was, and this is just one of the most beautiful services I've ever been to.
Hello, I'm a member of Summit, but I also lease an office on the 3rd floor here. And Shadow had an intense interest in baseball statistics. And so he would come to our office, visit every once in a while. I've been in the church 12 years, so it feels like the whole time I've been here, he was visiting our office. And my neighbor in my office, Janice Rish, who's here, started a Facebook page. I'm not stealing your thunder, but she started a Facebook page for Shadow. And little did we realize, it quickly became apparent all the places where he was at a clogging class, he was at various and sundry things that people would post photos for him. And we occasionally did lock, I think twice we locked him in our office overnight. And so we added near the door a note to always check for Shadow before we at the end of the day. The highest praise we could give him though is he currently has an emoji in our Slack channel that we added at some point. Wow. So he lives on in that regard. So.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Angela, and I'm adopted me several years ago by coming into my office window. It was summertime, I had the window open, and I was sitting at the typewriter, and all I saw out of the corner of my eye was this big black thing and this thump. And he scared me half to death. And ever since then, he would come to my office every day, and I began feeding him, and I made a bed for him, and it got so that Shadow knew my car. And if I pulled up and I was taking too long to get out, he would come over to the driver's side. So, which scared me half to death. He was my buddy and my friend, also known as Shadow Puss and Boo Boo Kitty. Every morning when I came in, Harold would have let him in, and I come in to the office and I would say, Boo Boo Kitty, and he would come out of the boardroom. And so he was my friend, and very comforting to see him sleeping in the office while I was working. So he touched my heart, and I'm glad to see he touched all of you too.
Hi, I'm Catherine. I am a member of an organization which rents space here in the hall for dances, a variety of forms of folk dancing. Whenever there was a dance, Shadow loved to come to the dance, and we all loved to see him. He usually hung out on the sidelines, but not infrequently he could be found curled up sleeping in various musicians' instrument cases. They go to pack up their fiddles and Shadow's using the case. He has been known to sit in the lap of musicians as they played for the dancers. He would hang out with dancers if they were sitting out on the side, and I actually suffered an injury and I had surgery and I wasn't able to dance for a while, but I came to a dance to be social, and he sat on my lap for 2 hours to keep me company. I think it was this past spring, I'm up and dancing again now. At one point, we had a dance on a Sunday afternoon, I think, and he walked out into the middle of the floor, in the middle of a dance, and I scooped him up, and we danced the remainder of that dance together, and he was perfectly delighted to swirl and twirl across the floor, and it's just one of my happiest memories, and I'm so grateful for him coming to share dancing and music with our community, and I'm grateful for this facility to be available and share the opportunity for all of us to get to know each other.
I'm Tony, this is and Layla, and these two go to Summit and are very fond of Shadow, and we just wanted to share, we don't have a particularly funny story or anything like that, but just that we love Shadow very much over the past couple of years we've been here, and enjoyed seeing him every morning and every evening, and giving him a little pet, just made our day a little bit brighter, and he was a really special part of our daily routine. Do you want to say anything? Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Hello, my name's Janice, and I also leased space here for about 10 years. And there was a time I had cats in my house and didn't any longer. So when Shadow would come up and visit us, I was very, very grateful to have an office cat. And he was a very, very deep person, because knowing Shadow, there were depths to him that would unfold. I knew I loved his company. But I remember the day I saw Angela in the morning, scrolling open her window, unscroll, you know, whatever you did to it, to open the window for Shadow to jump in. I remember the time I saw Cheryl really Pastor Cheryl, having a conversation with him, giving him the bad news that there was going to be a memorial service and that he really couldn't stay. And I remember the time I would leave my office and walk through and see the contra dances and see him dancing. It was just very enjoyable to see what a deep life he was. And I had so many pictures, I didn't know what to do because he wasn't my cat. Didn't seem like I should post pictures of him on my Facebook page. So that's when I created his Facebook page. You don't even know about it, right? Oh, okay, so. So for anyone who doesn't know, it's called Shadow the Cat, and I think I created it as a public figure because that's what he is. I just want to thank you for sharing your cat with us. That was very generous of you all these years.
Thank you. I just wanted to add something on to what Janice said about the famous picture, dressed as I am now, on the Facebook page where I am evicting Shadow for a memorial service. But there was one service, and I did not witness this, I only heard about it, but a woman in our congregation who had a very deep love of cats and was very attentive to Shadow, died a couple of years ago, and her family, who did not know Shadow, they did not live in Philadelphia, and they did not, and her friends who did not come to the church, told us that Shadow, during the viewing, Shadow came and stood at the casket and then walked over to the family. So Shadow truly was quite a cat. Are there other folks who wanted to share? Okay.
Arthur.
So first I want to say that now, having met Shadow's parents for the first time, I understand the depth of Shadow. You did a terrific cat rearing process in the family. So about 2 years ago, on the Shabbat morning, the Saturday morning, when in the rhythm of reading the passages from the Torah, we were reading the story of Noah and the ark and all its animals. And somebody, I think, was chanting, so I had my eyes closed, and I suddenly felt a weight up here on my right shoulder. And I opened my eyes, and there was Shadow. I figured Shadow knew perfectly well that this was a reading about the animals on the ark, and he was totally entitled to join in as close as he could get. About a year after that, we had an evening where a well-known local Jewish chanter was leading chanting, and Shadow was able to make his way inside the door. We had one member of the congregation who was allergic to cats, so we usually arranged to try to get Shadow very gently out. So somebody took him out. And about 10 minutes later, Shadow was back in. And somebody else took him out. And it happened 2 or 3 times. And finally, we gave up. And somebody took Shadow on her lap. I sat there thinking, now who is it? What being in the world do I have any connection with who loved Pnei Or, loved Torah, loved music, loved other religious traditions, and there was only one. The great teacher, founder of the whole Jewish renewal movement, who had been the rabbi of Pnei Or for at least a decade, Reb Zalman Schachter Shalomi, who died 4 years ago, and I figured Shadow was the reincarnation of Reb Zalman. So from then on, I had a serious spiritual investment in Shadow. And I guess I want to say I have a kind of a dark theory about Shadow's death. Shadow died a day or 2 after the massacre in the synagogue in Pittsburgh. And my dark, maybe it's a projection